Live, love, learn, life. Welcome to 4L Education. My name is Jim Oberlander, clinical nurse faculty, and here we are in an empty classroom. Imagine that. On this journey about the clinical environment, that's right, I brought you to an empty classroom, because today I want to talk to you about role modeling. And when I think about role modeling, I think of two words: authority, or authoritarian, or leader. And those are two opposite poles of role modeling. Authoritarian individual is going to say, I demand you respect me, I demand you follow me, do this, do that. But that doesn't engage the learner, that doesn't create active learning, that doesn't create interest. And if we're going to role model, we need to put ourselves in the position of the student. We need to understand from their perspective where they're at, what they're learning. And even more so, we need to put ourselves in the position, platform of a student. Not from the lectern, not from up front in the class. We need to be lifelong learners. We need to engage in the learning process forever. We are never going to achieve full maturity of learning, of knowledge. We need to constantly be intrigued and inquisitive about the environment that we're professionally dealing with. You see, role modeling starts with the perspective. I put myself professionally in the perspective of a student. And I want my students to see that I'm always engaged in the learning environment, in the learning process. And that I can learn from them and they can learn from me. And I never demand respect. Because the moment I start demanding things from them, I move from being a leader to an authority. Now, leaders have authority, but they don't demand it. They have authority in such a way that it doesn't demand people sit in a seat, but they want to sit in the seat. They want to be engaged. They want to learn. How do they do it? It's by who they are. It's by their communication style. It's by their flexibility. It's by their humility that they engage learners. They engage the student body. It's by their willingness to apologize when they make a mistake. Oh my goodness, did I say it? That an instructor, that a leader would apologize for something that they did or said wrong? Absolutely. I mean, how would you feel if you were the student and an instructor came up to you and said, you know, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I kind of was a little blunt, a little abrasive, maybe a little too sarcastic, and I just wanted to apologize for my communication with you earlier. Can you forgive me? I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't infringe on your learning later. How would you feel if you were that student? I would be totally engaged with that instructor. I would sit at their feet and just want to listen to what they have to offer, what kind of knowledge, what kind of content, their personality, their style, how they engage with patients, with staff, with doctors. I'd want to learn anything and everything I could from them. All because of their position of service, not of authority. So I really challenge you to think about your perspective. Are you the perspective of a lecturer that demands respect? Or are you a student that teaches others from a position of humility and flexibility in an apologetic nature? You'd fill this room and rooms after this with students that would want to be there. Ultimately, I think it comes down to integrity. Do you do what you say and say what you do? Because honestly, I think that's the key factor to authority versus a leader, is integrity. It's not about the way people view me. That's not the most important thing as a leader. That's the most important thing of an authoritarian person. They want to have the perspective that everybody respects them. But a leader recognizes that that only comes from the engagement with the student in an appropriate professional environment. I mean, I think about that word, integrity, and I think it really doesn't even embody 4L education. Living life, loving others, learning constantly. I mean, that's where the life comes from, is living, loving, and learning. And I think if we can teach students to live with that, to love that, to learn that their life, their professional life, their personal life, is going to have a greater impact on those around them than if they just go to work, just go to school, just to get the grade. Because when you follow a leader, you don't want to just get a grade. You want to grow. And I really challenge you as an instructor, as an individual, to look at your perspective of how you teach. Is it one of authority? Or is it one of leadership, servitude, humility, integrity? Until next time, live, love, learn, life.